Hey guys, it's your boy Rabner, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this gingerbread house inside of Minecraft 1.16. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, so here are some palette ideas for your gingerbread house. Obviously not all of these really look like gingerbread, but I mean, it's kind of just like a Christmassy house in general really. So this is going to be the one I'm using. So as you can see, it's got a mixture of the spruce planks and this stripped spruce log involved with it. And it's got an outline of stripped oak wood, which I think looks pretty nice. It's also got an oak wood plank stair roof, and on the inside of like the outer layer, I've just got a mixture of white wool and snow blocks. This is what I'm going to be using because it actually kind of looks the most like a gingerbread house. So yeah, so that's that one. Next we can go on to this one. This is sort of like a chocolate coated one with like a white chocolate edge. So as you can see, it's got the dark oak wood with the brown concrete. So that looks pretty interesting, and it's got birch wood around the side, which kind of looks like a white chocolate, which I think looks pretty cool. We've obviously got this roof part, with the outside being the birch wood, but to make it more interesting, I've replaced the roof with partly wool, as this kind of looks like Smarties or those little sweets that you'd put on the roof. Obviously that's pretty much it for that house, but I put a chimney on the top, but it's not really necessary because there aren't really normally chimneys on gingerbread houses. Here we have a sort of more like cake style one, so obviously it's covered in colouring, which makes it look more interesting. It's got the blue concrete, or light blue concrete, and light blue concrete powder. And to make the roof more interesting, I've put lines of red wool going along it, as this kind of makes it look like candy canes and stuff like that, and I think it's pretty interesting. For the like roof, the chimney is a red nether brick chimney, and here we have some pillars of quartz. This is a kind of interesting one. It's got the red nether brick mixed in with the nether wart blocks. So as you can see, that's pretty interesting. And for like the corners, I've put in the nether brick walls, but on like the bit underdoing the actual outcrop of the roof, it is just normal nether brick even. So the outline is of dark oak. However, the roof is just a mixture of concretes that kind of just make it look like you put a bunch of colours in it. So now, let's get on to the shape and then onto the actual build. Okay then, now let's think about size. So the smallest size which I have, and I think is probably the easiest size in general, is a small, which is 13 across and 9 like width-wise. This is quite a small size, however it gives you a little bit of room to like add shape to it, and you can probably just do like a normal square this size and it'll look pretty decent anyway. The medium size is 17 by 11. This is the one I'm going to be building, and I think it's quite a nice size that gives you plenty of room for expansion, and also means you have a pretty decent amount of room anyway. Here we have the large, which is 21 by 15. This would obviously be a large scale, like, building, in the name of course, and I think it's definitely pretty cool and gives you plenty of, like, room to add stuff onto, and I think it should be very cool. So, now let's get right into the building. Okay guys, now we're going to get into the time lapse of building this thing. So right now I just built the main square and I'm adding on some additional shapes to the sides of it. So that first one I made was 7 and 4 away from the main thing, and now I'm just adding some other ones. So the diagonal will stay, the other one is 5 and then 2 off. This back one is quite a large one, sort of on the corner. Yeah, and then I'm adding another slightly larger one just there with a dormer, that's what that represents. And here I am adding the thing. An image should be coming up soon, so yeah, here's the full thing, pause it when you want to, and here we are starting to build the rest of it. So I'm building in the stripped oak log pillars, and as you can see they look pretty interesting. So I'm just building them up. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, here we go. I'm building them up to being 6 tall, most of them. However, some of them are only 4 tall, just to make some differing heights, just to make it more interesting. So yeah, here I am, adding on some other parts. Just showing where the main square is, so I know exactly what's going on. So yeah, here I am building up. There's a slightly large bit. The roof goes up in 2 intervals, so it goes obviously the bottom bit, then 2 blocks, and another 2 blocks, and it just goes up like that, with 2 blocks being vertical. Now I'm adding on like a second floor to the main rectangle in the middle. So this is just so we have like a little middle bit that isn't just like got the roof in it, and I think this makes it very interesting and very cool. So now with the main roof, at first I tried just having it go like 1 block at a time, but I decided in the end to just have it going 2 blocks up, as that made the thing look very large and made it consistent with the rest of the build. So yeah, as you can see, we're just adding on the roof parts right now, but in a minute I will be filling in the rest of the walls with the spruce wood and the stripped spruce logs. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, so here I am just building up as well. As you can see, it looks very cool. I'm adding on like a separate jet out bit just here, just to make it stand out, and I think that'll really help the build. I'll be adding dormers and stuff when the roof is all filled in, so don't worry about that at the moment, and like all the blank spaces that might be there, and also that all the roofs will be interconnecting, so you won't have to worry about that at all. So yeah, here I am starting to fill in the walls. So that's very cool. As you can see, I'm literally just filling all the walls just like fully, and then I'll be adding in the details to the walls later. So yeah, here I am just building it all up. There's not really much to add to this section, but as you can see, you can kind of see where all the shape is now. I normally use wool just to make it stand out, and I think that definitely helps me just to see everything, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just going along, zooming in on the actual house, and as you can see, I'm just building up through it. I'm filling in the circular bit right there later, because that's just going to be glass, where I'm going to add in a little what do you call it? You know, on older houses, you have those hexagonal bits sticking out. It's just basically going to be one of those, just to add shape to it, and I think it makes it look pretty interesting and definitely gives a good glass view if you want to look at the snowy landscape around you this Christmas. So yeah. So as you can see, we're just building it all up, and yeah, just filling in all the walls. I added in quite a few of the beams going across just to give it more shape and to make it so there aren't so many just flat walls. So yeah, I think right now, I think soon I'll be adding the roof in, or the inside of it and the edges. So the edges are made out of just oak wood. And I just put them a block out from the actual wall just to give it some more, again, depth and shape, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, here I am, just adding in all the snow. I mixed up the snow with some wool, as that just kind of makes it stand out a bit more. As I said earlier, it goes up in two, groups of 2. So as you can see, we're filling in the top roof right now. So yeah. Once I finish adding in all of the parts here, I'll be mixing in some different blocks and adding in some dormers as well, as that just sort of breaks up the large white expanse, as it's kind of hard to look at when it's just white. So yeah, here I am just finishing up this top roof, and then we should be getting into some different parts. So yeah, here I am. I'm adding in a little overhang from a wall. I think that just makes it all stand out a bit, and definitely adds like a little bit of shape, which is definitely useful and makes it all stand out quite a lot. So yeah, now I'm just adding in the edges, as you can see. So they just step up in the 2s, and they're 1 block away from the wall, just to give it even more, as I said before, shape, and just to make it stand out and look very cool. So yeah, it's just all building up, looking pretty cool. Just adding in those final bits on the ends. Again, looking very nice. I mean, right now we're just finishing off this roof part. Not really much to add to it, as you can just see it repeating. But I think after this we'll be adding in the windows perhaps, and also the different blocks into the roof and walls, just to give it more texture and to make it stand out a bit, which is obviously exactly what we want. Here we are, just adding in some more. You can kind of see the overhang just there. I just did that because it kind of breaks up the flat wall and makes it more, again, interesting, and breaks up the shape as before. We have a kind of weird like interconnecting bit there, but all I did was just connect the roofs together. And here we are, just adding the rest of it. This is quite a tall build, and again, if you want to build this in survival, I'd recommend building the smaller type of it, because otherwise it'll probably be quite large, and that isn't always what you want to go for. Right now, I'm not entirely sure what we're doing, so I'm around the back, but it's looking pretty interesting, as you can see. I think I'm probably adding in the dormers. Yeah, I'm adding in the dormers right now. I believe. Yeah, here I go. Adding in some more shape just to the roof. This kind of gives it like a try effect, and that's sort of like a rule of building, to do things in like threes and either make it like symmetrical or completely asymmetrical. But as you can see, the main roof here is symmetrical, with some of it not being. So now we're just adding in all the dormers and windows, and soon we'll have lots of different shapes to it, and it should be pretty interesting. Here I am building in that dormer part. It's just putting it on top of it, adding some snow in, just making this nice little area for you to look out on the snowy landscape. I think it looks pretty cool. Finally adding in the windows. I did do a small interior, but I didn't add any of like furniture in. I think it's pretty cool. I don't really know. I don't really have any particular plans for what to build after I've done this and in the new year. So make sure to comment down below what you'd like to see, because I honestly don't really know. As you can see, I have plenty of ideas and lots of things that I'd like to show you, but I don't have any, again, particular ideas. Well, I mean, I do, but I want to know what you guys want to see, so I can have an informed opinion on what I should build and what I should work on, so I can give you guys the best quality product, well, not product, but the best quality build for you guys to have as possible. Here I am, just mixing in some of the stripped spruce wood just to make it stand out. I'll soon be adding in the wool as we just go around the house a little bit. Here I am here. You can't really see it in a lot of detail because of the quality, I don't think. Well, at least I can't, because I have a small screen. So that's pretty much it, really. As you can see, we're just sort of gonna go around the house one more time. This is probably the maximum amount of shape you really need, to be honest. You could probably inset the walls, just make it look a lot more cool. Obviously, with all the other palettes I showed you earlier, there'll be a lot of different ways you could do this. I think we're pretty near the end right now. Just the final touches, really. And it's all pretty interesting, so, yep. All good. Now I'm adding in some window, decoration. So I put a dark oak trapdoor on top of the window, and then have some other parts, just like the dark oak parts around the window, as it sort of makes it look like you have some different things to it, and I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, the build is almost over, and as we go around it for the last time, you can see that there's a lot of shape to it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this build. It's very large. You could definitely make it a lot smaller, and it would be pretty interesting. So you can see all the like space and rooms here, and I think it looks pretty cool. So let's go around the build in a minute, and we can have a close look at some of the features and ways you can add stuff to the outside to the build. Okay guys, so as you can see, we have now finished the actual build. I did a little bit of interior, and we can get into that in a minute. So as you can see, I added like some trees around it. These are just a spruce tree that I made, and I just copy and pasted it around. So as you can see, it looks pretty cool. All I did was flip them and then paste them around, as I said earlier. So let's have a close look at the actual house. So the walls are made out of, as I said in the other thing, they are made out of spruce planks and the stripped spruce log. I also have an outline on the roof which is made out of oak planks, but the actual roof itself is made out of snow and wool, which I just mixed in randomly. The way I made the shape of the house was I just randomly added bits to the edges. In the time lapse there should be like an image of all the lengths of the outside, so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So yeah, the way I detailed the windows as well was I had a trapdoor on the top, and then I just used some dark oak fence gates below it to just sort of make it look like there are like shutters on it. And I made this very cool sort of bay window where I used the grey glass in a sort of like triangle pattern with a block there, and a block like here. And then I sort of rounded it out using the light grey glass panes. I made sort of like a larger window here, and it's all pretty similar all the way around really. Now let's have a little look at the interior. Inside, I haven't really done much really. I just did the inner walls. So as you can see, there's just some stripped jungle wood and the red terracotta for the walls. And I just used lanterns on the ceiling, and as you can see, there's a layer of jungle wood planks just hiding off the actual floor. So if I break one of these, you can see that there is the dark oak wood just behind it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean there's not really much to the rooms really. I just dotted them around really. Here's the stairs. So as you can see, there are just bay windows and little rooms with the lanterns and all that. Not really much to it in reality, but I still think it looks pretty cool. So as you can see, here is the stairs. So upstairs, this roof's a little bit smaller, so you bang your head on the lanterns and can't really jump. But as you can see, there's not really much to any of the rooms up here either, so it is what it is really. Pretty interesting, but not a particularly confusing or complicated interior. So as you can see, this is the third floor, so I just did that. There is a little bit of attic space, but I couldn't really work out a way to get a ladder up to there. So yeah, so that's pretty much the entire build. If you want to see more videos where I go over builds like this in this sort of style, maybe like a Tudor sort of build, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I know it's almost Christmas, and by the time I post it, it should be less than a week away. So yeah, I hope you have a really nice holiday, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye.